I've had a chance to talk about the GX4 in the past, in fact in one of my first videos I ever did on this channel, but I've never gotten to talk about it in its most essential form. From the outset, the GX4 was a concealed carry minded pistol that morphed into the PDW that I actually did the video on. So let's take a look at its original guys. A portion of the equipment and ammunition in this video has been provided by Clark Construction Company. If you're looking for commercial or residential design, construction, or remodeling in Central Colorado, call Clark Construction. If you've got a project that you need done right the first time, or have a project that wasn't quite done right the first time, then Clark Construction can help you. Special thanks to Clark Construction for keeping Upspin Ballistics going. Taurus is a company that experiences everything from avid enjoyers to detractors that think the highest form of humor is memes that pummel the company. As with most things, I land in the middle there. They make some of my favorite products in the world, like the TX22, which I still think is the best .22 pistol on the market. And then there's things like the 6.5-inch Judge that I feel is an affront to God. The GX4 has always been one of their bright spots in their lineup for me, and given that it comes in at under 20 ounces with an 11-round mag and its 3-inch guys, it is quite viable for concealed carry, and that's exactly what this example spends most of its time doing. Given how small and light the GX4 is, the recoil is fairly lively. With 115 grain rounds, it's comfortable enough to shoot for afternoon, but once you load up some spicy 147 grain defensive loads, predictably the recoil becomes tedious. With the extended magazine in there, I get my pinky on there and you gain 2 extra rounds. With the flat base 11 round, my pinky's just hanging out there. It's still usable, but when you really want to get on it, that extra grip helps a lot. The trigger on the GX4 is one of Taurus's most improved points over their older offerings. If you've ever had to endure the trigger on a G2 or G3, you'll understand me when I say it feels like you're pulling through sewer sludge and it gives you absolutely no communication at all as to when the pistol's going to fire. With the GX4, that's completely gone. Trigger's actually quite good now. 5mm of take-up leads up to a wall where you get a crisp break and 3mm of over travel. 4mm of reset gives you a reset that's both audible and tactile. Now, for an unashamed trigger snob like myself, this trigger's pretty okay, and given that it's a Taurus polymer pistol, that's a pretty big compliment. Controls on the GX4 are adequate. The triangular magazine release is on the smaller side, but magazines come out with gusto, a feature some other gun companies could stand to learn. The slide release is forward enough that I never found myself riding it, yet prominent enough that it's easy to use. Disassembly does require a tool, but in a pinch a 9mm rim will work. As always, I hate any kind of disassembly that requires a tool, but given that it's just a glorified flathead screwdriver, it's mostly forgivable. Mostly. For the models that have the optional optic cut on there, it's an RMSC footprint, and the Holosun 507K dropped right on there with no problems whatsoever. If you choose to forgo an optic on here, then you're going to get a set of steel sights with a white dot up front and blacked out serrations in the rear. There is the slightest amount of co-witness with the 507K on there, about a 1/16 of an inch or so. Not what I would call usable in a practical way, but useful when you're trying to get a hasty zero with an optic. I'm really glad that Taurus put a little bit of effort into these sights when other companies just slap some plastic trash on there and call it perfect. Over the review period, the GX4 has been outstandingly reliable. And that's been my experience with the 2 other versions of the GX4 that I've tried out. Everything from a variety of range loads to a handful of defensive loads have gone right through it. It just works. There was a recall on select serial numbers from the early run, and you can go on the Taurus website and easily check that. It's a drop safety issue that requires mandatory parts replacement, not an optional upgrade. Taurus actually seems to grasp the concept of liability. Taurus is a company of hits and misses, and clearly for me, the TX22 and the GX4 are part of their hits. And that bears out in the amazing amount of submodels of the GX4 we've gotten. Now, Taurus will likely never shake all of the negative perception that it rightly earned over a few years, but if you come up to me and tell me that you carry a GX4 for EDC, you'll receive no shaming from me. If you stuck around this long in the video, I just want to say thank you. Also, leave a comment and tell me if you would EDC a GX4. Then make sure you stick around and subscribe because I've got a lot more coming.